Well, we're back. I'm Frank Scatoni. This is
I'm
Kieran Thornton. We're double trouble. We're both in trouble.
Yes, we are. It seems like every opening weekend starts like this, doesn't it, Frank? We have high hopes, and then we just get crushed by the track bias. Horses we would never pick.
So cruel. You know, I felt like we needed to come back on. I didn't want to hide from the fact that we lost the last race and just pretend it didn't happen. I wanted to come back live. Kieran and I both wanted to come back live to try and redeem ourselves, right? Kings of the Nightcap. This is the get out race of the day. It's the Nightcap. There's some really good opportunities. It's race 11. It's a $25,000 claimer contested at 8.5 furlongs on the turf. Again, I wrote up this race on the DMTC website. I did a horse-by-horse analysis. So if you want a more in-depth explanation of this race, you could go there. But we wanted to come back on and see if we could redeem ourselves by putting a couple of wagers together based on our opinions that we had going into this double. Unfortunately, we're not alive, but Kieran, help us get out, please. I need money. I need money for dinner tonight.
Well, you know, my top choice in here, the long shot, 20-1 morning line, number 3, Neon Lights. And a lot of people probably would have jumped off this horse because it come from Turf Paradise, but the horse just went out there. Used to race here on the SoCal circuit up until the last time. And, 2 in a row, Mullins, winner last race, flat bet profit. You got Edwin on there. I know there's lots of speed. We kind of talked about it earlier where I think you didn't like this horse because you thought with all the speed, it'll end up getting run down. But I think Edwin is the kind of jockey where I could see him not using all that speed and definitely not being on the rail down the stretch, which is what has been killing so many of our plays when they go into the turn and they start heading inside. It's like a conveyor belt there.
Okay, so that's your top pick.
That's my top
pick. Betting the horse to win.
I'm going to do a win show on it, and people are going to laugh. Why are you doing a show bet? But I've been experimenting with some of my contests, live money contests lately, and I found that I've actually collected a lot more times just doing a show bet on my long shots, especially in some of the tournaments I've been playing, that I've started using it in my real money handicapping as well when I've got a long shot. Because many times, like you too, whenever we pick long shots, and I tell people all the time, they may not win, but more times than not, if we're landing on a long shot, they're probably going to outrun those odds, and they end up being great horses underneath. And, by at least doing a little bit of a show money on it, I might get some of my money back.
Yeah, there are different ways to play this game. Like, you're playing that bet as sort of a bankroll preserver, right? Like, if the long shot doesn't win, but it runs second or third, at least you preserve some of that bankroll. You get your money back and you can churn it in the next race. So, I mean, I'm not against that strategy. It's not something I would do, but it's a lot more safer than trying to construct a trifecta and having the first horse and the third horse and not having the middle horse. So,
yes.
But you could still also play the trifecta. Why don't you tell us about, how are you going to play this race? Because we got 11 minutes to post, and I don't want to leave it too late for other people. Or if there's another horse you want to mention, feel free.
I'm just going to do a backup saver and a trifecta because I do like a couple of long shots. I'm going to use the picks I originally had. 3, 5, 10, 11. I think that's what I had, right? 3, 5, 10, 11. Yep, 3, 5, 10, 11, $1 trifecta box.
Okay, and then you're doing a win show bet on your long shot. Okay, yeah, the horse is 26-1. Look, I told you I absolutely do not like that horse, and I would like to make fun of you for picking that horse. But the last time I did that was on opening day when I made fun of your pick for ribbons. 28-1 came in wire to wire. So I had to eat a little bit of crow, but you know what? I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong, and I will give credit where credit is due. But again, we're here to talk about wagering strategies and maximizing our opinions. I think even Kieran would admit that he probably could have played that race a little better and made a lot more money. But congratulations to him for having that horse.
And before you jump into yours, Frank, quick stat for people. They've raced. This race has been run 12 times. What is it? 5 of 12 horses over 5-1 have won it. So it's another, I mean, we can tell by looking at the conditions on that, but this is another one of those races like opening day Friday where long shots have a history of winning. So that's why I kind of liked a couple of long shots in here.
Yeah, no, that's a great stat. I mean, you need to know conditions that are reliable and ones that aren't, and that gives you an advantage, because if you're playing prices in races that historically generate prices, that's how you're going to make your money. So, even though you have the favorite in your trifecta box, that's number 5, Margot's Boy, you have prices surrounding that horse. So, many different ways to play. I'm not really a big trifecta player. My brain doesn't really work that way. But I do like to play the exactas, and I have a couple of horses that I'm interested in here. My 3 A's in my write-up were number 5, Margot's Boy, the favorite. That's just such a nice horse. And the only thing that I'm a little worried about is he's 8 years old now. He's coming off an August layoff. We have no idea what's under the hood, right? But I trust Mark Glatt. He's one of my favorite trainers, one of the best. My top pick in the race was actually Hurricane Cloud on the outside. I've always liked the way this horse finishes his races. Like I said earlier, Kieran, I believe there's a lot of speed in here. I expect this horse to just kind of like angle over. I know it looks like he's up close in those previous races, but those were slow paces. I'm looking more at the race 3 back, where he just kind of angled over, tracked in the second path, and then powered home. I am shocked. He was 6-1 on the morning line. He is 10-1 now.
And actually, just looking at this, Frank,
yeah,
Tiago was the jockey, but he, fell off, and he's off his mounts today. My guy who won the opening day, Demuro's on. So
that's a good jockey.
Now I have to scramble and modify my bet here.
Very good jockey change, but I'm actually, I don't usually let odds affect my opinion, but that's scaring me off a little bit. That horse is dead on the board. My other price horse is 12-1 on the morning line, Mega Yacht. He's bet down to 7-1. So they flip-flopped. So usually what I like to do is take the longer price of the horses that I like, but I actually like Mega Yacht a little better now based on the way the action is going. So I'm going to do a win bet on Mega Yacht. I am going to do an exacta box with 4 and 9, Mega Yacht and Hurricane Cloud, my 2 price horses, and then I'm going to come back and play key exacta with the favorite. So number 5, Margot's Boy, over the 4 and the 9, and then I'm going to come back with the 4 and the 9 over number 5, Margot's Boy. Give me a couple of different options if my price horses fire and the favorite is too good to be beat. But look, this is a tough race. I am not spending a lot of money in this race just because it's tricky. But I think there's some clever enough opinions here where if we're right, Kieran, we can make a little bit of money.
Yeah, and I'm actually trying to figure out how I can modify my bet here so that I can add number 10 in. Or your number, what is it, number 9, Hurricane Cloud?
Well, you can modify it on your own time. We've got 5 minutes to post. We want our viewers to modify their bets and go to the windows. They're probably going, oh, Frank likes the 5-4, XXX. This is going to hammer your long shot. 28-1 last time. Can lightning strike twice?
One of my usual crazy get out bets when I've had a day like I've had at Del Mar is, especially in the nightcap, if I like 4 long shots, I do a 10-cent superfecta box with them. So
there you go.
Toss the favorite and use the other 4 and add in Frank's donkey there.
Kieran's giving out some of his trade secrets. I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining us again, everybody. We'll be back on Friday. It's a late post. We will do our early show, talk about the card. That is the Double Trouble show. We'll be in studio, and then, of course, we will go live and actually talk just like this about the $5 late double. Kieran, we didn't hit the late double, so we're going home in trouble, but hopefully one of us can get a little lucky in the nightcap and make some money tonight.
Yep. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching, guys.